I made a road trip to Bornholm, which is a small Danish island between Sweden and Germany. And if you haven't been here, I can surely recommend it, and in this video I will share some tips about places to visit at this island. On the way down I stayed one night at Backadal Gård, which is a bed and breakfast that was opened last year. It was previously a horse stable, but was last year rebuilt to bed and breakfast. It's really nice and located just outside Ystad with very friendly owners. You also get a really good breakfast, so I enjoy this before heading off to the ferry to Bornholm. The ferry to Bornholm is a fast speeding catamaran jet ferry, and they are among the biggest and fastest of this kind in the world. So after only 1 hour and 15 minutes I've arrived to Gränna, which is the biggest city in Bornholm. While I couldn't check in until the afternoon, I spent the day in Gränna and enjoyed a really nice environment. I chose to stay in Gudhjem while I was in Bornholm, and Gudhjem is a really nice little harbour town in the northern part of Bornholm. After visiting most of the small villages in Bornholm, I must say that Gudhjem is probably the most beautiful of them all. It's a really nice environment. I stayed at Hotel Klippen for 3 nights in the room just below the Klippen sign. And it's an old hotel located above the center of Gudhjem with a magnificent view over the ocean and the small village Gudhjem. So here you can really talk about room with a view. The first evening I enjoyed some tapas with a Scandinavian touch in a garden restaurant in Gudhjem. After a nice dinner, it was time to enjoy the fantastic sunset over Gudhjem. The next day I took a boat trip to Helligdomsklipporna, the sanctuary cliffs, with this old wooden boat. It's actually 110 years old, and it's a magnificent view over the coastline of Bornholm. And later I arrived to the Sanctuary Cliffs, which is a really nice place with some nice cliffs along the shoreline. After enjoying the cliffs, I decided to walk back to Gudhem instead of taking the boat. You walk along the shoreline all the way back to Gudhem, and it's about 6 kilometers. When I got back to Gudhem, I tried the famous dish Sun over Gudhem, where the yellow part of the egg symbolized the sun, and it's a smoked fish on a rye bread. The next day I made a road trip on Bornholm, and there are a lot of small cozy villages like this one called Allingen. After that I visited Hammershus, which is the largest castle ruin in the Northern Europe, and it's a really magnificent building, and when you walk up to the castle you also have a fantastic view over the ocean. Bornholm is also famous for their round churches, and this one is called Österlen and is the biggest of them all. It's an impressive piece of building, and the environment is, as always in Bornholm, very nice. On the way back home to Gudhem, I visited Svaneke, which is also a really nice little village. Actually, Bornholm is full of these small fishing villages, and all of them really nice and with very friendly people. The last day at Bornholm, on the way back to the ferry, I visited Dueudde, which is the most southern part of Bornholm, with impressive sand dunes and a lot of waves and a nice beach. There is also a nature reserve on Bornholm with bison, and they are really shy, but I was fortunate to get a look of them on the far distance. So in the afternoon it was time to take the ferry back to Sweden. I first visited Bornholm 25-30 years ago, and now this time, but I will for sure come back. It's a really nice island with a lot of things to see and a beautiful nature. When the ferry arrived to Ystad in Sweden, I paid a visit to Alestenar Kåseberga, which is located at Österlen in Skåne, with a nice environment to visit. I chose to spend the night in Kastanjelund, which is a small hotel located in the beautiful area of Österlen in Sweden. It's a nice little hotel, but what really stands out is the food. It's really excellent cooking. On the way back home I made some short stops. This one in Kivik, which is normally extremely crowded, but now because of the weather it was almost empty. When you are in Österlen, you must always pay a visit to Brösarps backar. It's a fantastic environment, and a lot of movies and commercials have been recorded in this fantastic nature. The last stop before coming home was in Röttle, which is a small village just outside Gränna in Sweden. It's a really nice village, and you can take a walk in the village and down to the little harbor, so I can really recommend this if you're passing by the area of Jönköping, Gränna.